Hi there. Welcome to episode 4 of All This Science, the science podcast that explains one scientific concept in 5 minutes or less. I'm Dr. C, and today we're talking about genes. Now, I don't know much about biology. I'm more of a quantum chemist, but I did a test on the internet once and it said I was a genius. The internet also said that if I was a medieval musical Baroque instrument, I'd be a hurdy-gurdy. And if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. I had an anti-gurdy once. Genes are in the news because we are getting much better at editing them, as opposed to my show, which is completely raw and unedited, like my paleo diet. Anyways, we combine these genes and make potentially new creatures, some of which can be scary, like crossing a bulldog and a shih tzu to make a dog zoo, or wheat and flax to make feet. So, what are genes? Well, there's skinny ones, acid-washed, distressed, flare, and bell-bottoms. I used to date a bell-bottoms once, but that's another story. Let's start relatively big and work our way down. Our bodies are made of cells. One part of the cell is called the nucleus. Don't confuse it with the nucleus of an atom. It's a different kind of nut. Nucleus is Latin for nut. The nucleus in a body cell is the mission control center. Aside from being consulted on controversial pass interference calls in a Canadian Football League game, the nucleus contains chromosomes, little stringy thread-like structures that we can actually see under a microscope, especially during cell division. There are 46 chromosomes in each nucleus, 23 pairs of chromosomes. Each pair has an equal contribution from 2 donors. Hopefully, the donors are 2 people who love each other very much. The chromosomes are made out of DNA. In Canada, we say DNA. DNA is the abbreviation for deoxyribonucleic acid. Isn't it funny the word abbreviation is such a long word? There are 4 base molecules that are part of the DNA twisty double helix structure. ATCG. Adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. Sounds like something from my Rice Krispies. It is this order that makes you and not someone else. Your DNA is still pretty darn close to any other human, but it's that less than 1% difference that makes things interesting. We don't want to be all exactly the same, because then we could never ask, Star Trek or Star Wars? So, what is a gene? A gene is a sequence of DNA that lives on the chromosome strand. Some genes have 100 DNA bases, some have 2 million. So the genes are in the chromosomes are in the nucleus is in the cell is in the body, and the green grass grew all around, and the green grass grew all around. Here's a nice analogy. Think of the Book of Life. And who wrote that? As having 2 volumes, Volume 1 and Volume 2. This is a human genome, the whole enchilada coming from the parents. The chapters in the book are the chromosomes. The pages in the book are the genes. The words on the pages are triplets, made up of 3 letters. And the letters in the words are the DNA base pairs A, T, C, and G. The typos, well, they represent genetic variants. What's interesting, well, this is all interesting, is that not all pages in the book are read by every cell in the body. Depending on what the cell is, some pages are not read. An eye cell will read different pages than a skin cell will. The pages are all there, just not all read by each kind of cell. I think that's really amazing. There's so many more amazing things, and you should read up on genetics because it's super important. It's the genes that contain the instructions to make proteins which make all the stuff that is you. Your red freckles, your red hair, your Riverdale sweater. Buzz! Who was Archie Andrews? Scientists today are being able to really stack the deck in terms of modifying genes, makeup, and instructions. This is both powerful in terms of eradicating diseases, but if it gets in the wrong hands, we might end up with a bunch of Reggie Mantle clones. And nobody likes Reggie. So, what do you want to hear in this show? Send me an email, allthisscience@gmail.com, or a tweet to @allthisscience. Subscribe on the podcast, wherever good podcasts are distributed, and visit the website to to hear earlier episodes. bit.ly/allthisscience. Thanks very much, and I hope to talk with you again very soon.